Hey Clover's Reptile family, thanks for joining us on this video. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and comment down below telling us how you guys like this video. So this video is going to be a little different from our usual stuff. We're doing a quick walkthrough of the Dallas NARBC now that just passed in September. Make sure you guys let us know how you guys like it. We interviewed a couple of hog-nosed breeders and as well as some other species and our partnership with Husbandry Pro as well. So before we start the video, I want a big shout out and thank you to one of our really good customers, Caitlin. She picked up a purple line Conda lavender het albino male, and you know, this is the first time, but she brought us a little gift. Really appreciate it. Some coffee from Oklahoma. Really cool. I love coffee. I don't go one day without drinking it, so really appreciate this. And then this is another real cool factor. She brought us Oklahoma rose rocks. So that's really cool to see. You know, hopefully, you know, you guys can see the detail in the video, but really cool. Gonna definitely be a keepsake. My daughter's already chomping at the bits to get one stone, so I'm gonna distribute it here in the family. Thank you again, Caitlin, for the gifts. Thank you for being a good customer and picking up that beautiful hog nose. So another big shout out is to a few of our friends that, you know, live out in the Dallas area or travel to vend there. Morph Valley Reptiles. You know, he gave us a nice shirt. So really cool, you know, shirt. Thanks for the swag. We also have Mission Morphs, a fellow devil dog. So he gave us some swag as well. And then we have Ro gave us some shirts as well, some swag. You know, really appreciate all the swag, all the, you know, stuff like that. Also, Morph Valley Reptiles, he gave us some he had some shot glasses, he had coasters. I just remember that, you know, they're sitting over there in our little bar area. So Ryan, thanks again for all support. Big shout out to the Viuna family. So without further ado, let's get to the vendors. Let's get to some breeders that we interviewed and let us know how we did on this video. Hey guys, today we're here with Herpin Harbins, Josh and Alicia, and they're going to show us a couple cool things that they brought to the show, the NARBC Dallas. So let's get to that right now.
Hey guys, Josh and Alicia here. I was going to show you kind of our big one this year. I'm going to go right to it. This is our Swiss chocolate that we produced this year. Let me take this off so you can see them a little bit better. Really nice dark. Now the females are actually darker than the males, but they've got more of a golden background. Their headpiece is a little bit different than a typical sable. So that's one guy.
And what was that het for there?
Het for toffee belly.
Toffee. And you guys have a double visual, right?
Double visual at home.
Okay.
Anaconda Swiss toffee female that actually I probably should have brought her, but we're just keeping her a little bit longer. She's eating really good, but she actually will be available pretty soon.
Nice. Okay.
So kind of one of those that you get one and then you're like, then you let it go, but that's okay. This is another one that is absolutely beautiful. That
was definitely an eye catcher when I stopped by earlier.
Look at her, beautiful, super Arctic, super Conda albino with great saturation of color. There's a lot of red albino behind her, so that's giving these really excellent pinks and peaches. So we're really happy to see her. And then we've also got quite a few Axanthics. We've got some super Yetis, some Yetis. We've got some super Arctics, and so we brought a good variety of hog-nosed. We also have a lot of ball pythons. Monarch, which was Tom's biggest project. We got quite a few of those in.
Yeah, can we see one of those monarchs that are, you know, that Tom specials?
That's some of his stuff there. You can just see like your deep caramels, a really bright gold color, those killer eyes. I love that green eye on them. But they hold this color throughout adulthood. So what you see now is what you're going to have as an adult.
You know, and I think that's the goal, especially in the ball pythons, right? Keeping that color from hatching all the way to adults.
Yeah. So we've got some with pastel in them. We've got some G stripes. You can see the monarch really obliterates the G stripe. So it's a very powerful gene when it comes to the pattern.
Really cool.
We also have some puzzle and some desert ghosts. So these puzzles are kind of pretty wicked looking. There's some green tones in it. Really odd patterning, which is what gives the name of the puzzle. So those are kind of our highlights right now. We also, those of you that may have known Tom or didn't know Tom, we lost Tom on July 4th in a diving accident, and so we have now, we're carrying on his legacy the best we can. We're going to be at the shows. We're going to carry his name, Tom Harbin, over the banner. The banner's going to be with us, and we're going to continue on some of his projects. But in his honor, we had help with Auburn University Veterinary College to set up a foundation for a scholarship for specifically a veterinary student interested in reptile medicine. And so luckily last night, through US Art's help and at the US Art auction in both Daytona and here, we have now met the endowment. And so now any added bonus scholarship money going in just allows us to be able to give it to more people that are qualified, or give larger scholarships that's more impactful for them going through veterinary school. And so we do have that endowment. People can scan a QR code and send their own donation, and greatly appreciated, because this will be something that actually will be living on well past even us, and something to keep a memorial of him going. And he was actually getting ready to start teaching more specific lecture classes at Auburn this year. He was so excited about that. He had actually been teaching some side classes in reproductive reptile medicine, and so he's already made an impact there with some of the veterinary students, and so we're hoping that can carry on.
We need a little more concentration in reptiles and stuff like that within the veterinary world.
Definitely.
So great, you know, way to keep on his legacy. And Tinley, is there going to be other stuff being auctioned?
There will be another auction there. Okay. So anybody that hasn't been able to be at these auctions we've been at, that will probably be the last time we will do an auction to raise funds for this, because now, having the endowment met, we've met our mark. Now that's going to be a forever situation, but just more donations are always welcome and appreciated greatly. Okay.
And then for someone that wants to apply to a scholarship, when is that going to be available? And
we're hoping that by this next semester.
Probably next fall.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're going to have all that dialed in. We are luckily going to be able to be part of the selection of the veterinary student, and we are wanting to try to focus on somebody that has financial need and obviously reptile interest.
Perfect. Thank you both for everything you're doing and carrying on Tom's legacy, and you know, all the cool animals you guys are going to keep producing.
Thank you.
Hey guys, so we're here with Jordan, Heartland Reptiles, and we're going to go check out some really cool enclosures that he is starting to make, and it's going to be a future product to go see in the reptile hobby.
How y'all doing? I'm Jordan Carpenter. I build powder-coated aluminum enclosures, everything from large giant enclosures for monitor lizards or very large species. I particularly work with reticulated pythons, dwarf and super dwarf variety. I also have some smaller enclosures for green tree pythons that you can see. A little bit more cost effective. A little bit lighter duty, but still bulletproof in that they are powder-coated aluminum. Everything is meant to be the last enclosure you'll ever need. You won't have sagging issues, they won't stain. Powder coat's non-porous, it's a baked-on finish, so it should be something that lasts forever regardless of the species you keep. The whole goal is custom enclosures that you never have to replace for your whole life, much less the life of a handful of animals.
And they all come on casters and stuff like that? Okay.
Yeah, everything comes on locking casters. It's aluminum, so it's surprisingly lightweight. I personally set up everything on my own without any help, wheeled it all in. It's a one-person move type stuff. Even for this, this is an 8-foot by 3-foot interior height and 2.5-foot depth, full-length shelf. It's got a 6-inch substrate dam, so he's going to fill it with substrate, plan it all out. He's going to have grow lights up on the top to grow the plants, UV, put branches up to the shelf, and house a water monitor.
So you can do custom work, right, Jordan?
Yep. Everything here started as a custom project, and as I build something for one person, it just becomes part of the catalog. So that's how I'm building out the catalog, getting more options for people. Everything's just custom one-off, but then available to the public. So whatever somebody needs, the goal is to customize it to fit their species and needs perfectly.
I have all the different configurations. Which one's your favorite that you have today?
I think the stack is the most versatile. The way that the stack operates, there's 4 enclosures in one. I also have a variant that has an additional 5th layer. But the really neat thing about these is the floors and the ceilings can be removed. So you can take this enclosure and remove the floor, and then you go from an 18 to a 36-inch enclosure. You can open up the whole entire cabinet and make it a giant arboreal enclosure. The goal with this is to be able to grow with your animals as their space requirements increase, as well as different species as your collection grows.
And is it glass?
Yeah, so they all have sliding tempered glass, 1/4 inch. So everything's meant to be the strongest possible.
Cool, man. I'm really looking forward. You know, I remember the first time you showed us a picture of this stuff, you know, pipe dream coming true, you know, but I think it's definitely going to be some future projects, and really cool to see this. I really enjoyed the removable part of it.
Yeah.
I'm starting to get into some arboreal stuff, so that's really cool to see.
And then for this, we also have the playground that's behind you. So this is an accessory that actually mounts to the stack enclosure. So the way that it operates is it mounts to the side, and each one of these open up into the individual enclosures. With one pull-out slide, you can open up this whole 6-foot height for any given animal. You fill it with branches and vines and stuff, and it gives them a climbing exercise space.
It's pretty big. I think you can probably fit in there, right?
Oh yeah. I'm a little over 6 foot and 220, and I fit in.
Look at that, guys.
So the goal is to offer the most space, enrichment, and exercise for any species without giving up your entire footprint of your room. And so the way I had my room set up is I have 2 of the 5 stacks with one of these in the center, which allows me to give 10 animals exercise space and only give up 18 inches of my floor space.
Perfect, man. Thank you for your time. Yep. So tell people, if they're looking for something like this, where can they find you?
Right now, Instagram, Heartland Reptiles is the best way. I'm also on Facebook and YouTube. Heartlandreptiles.com. I have the website. It's just under process, so it'll be up and running soon.
What's the average production time right now?
So for existing stuff, even the big stuff is about 45 days. The smaller enclosures I can turn in 4 weeks.
Perfect.
And then for custom stuff like the large enclosure, from concept to completion was about 4.5 months. So
cool, man. Thank you again for your time, man. I think this is going to be a future project, and we're looking forward to see what else you build.
All right. Thank you so much, man. Sure, appreciate you.
I want to take this moment to mention and thank our sponsors and partnerships. Sea Serpents is our official sponsor, known for their exceptional customer service and top quality. They offer a wide range of PVC racks and incubators designed to meet the needs of every reptile enthusiast. Their products are built with durability and efficiency in mind, ensuring your reptiles have a safe and comfortable environment. Whether you're a hobbyist or a professional breeder, Sea Serpents has the perfect solution for your growing collection. Want to take your reptile husbandry and record keeping to the next level? Use our exclusive code CLOVER60 for a free 60-day trial of Husbandry Pro, an all-in-one reptile tracking software that will streamline your reptile care routine. When it comes to shipping or receiving our reptiles, Ship Your Reptiles is our top choice. Trust them to handle your reptiles with care. Use code CLOVERS15 to save on your next shipment. Feeding your reptiles a varied diet is essential, and Reptilinks offers raw, whole-prey reptile food trusted by the best zoos and keepers in the industry. Use code CLOVER to save $5 on your next order. Thank you for your support.
What's up, guys? So now we're here at Exotic Fire Hog. Excellent. He's going to show us some really cool steaks that we have, some hog-nosed. You know, I'm going around the show trying to find some of the best hog-nosed at this show, and of course, our friend Leslie is going to have some of the best. So let's go check that out.
What's up, guys? How you guys doing? Welcome to NARBC Dallas. Here we're going to start with a heavy hitter. Something that's not as common as we would hope, but it's actually something that a lot of people really enjoy as a combination. Caramel and Azantic. Caramel and Azantic makes a frostbite, and this is a frostbite conda female. If you notice the reduced pattern, that's from the caramel gene, and then you have the influence of the Azantic, which makes it look even nicer as a more sleek gray snake. Their eyes are actually gray as well, which is actually pretty cool. She wants to move a little bit for us. And then their bellies have a reduced pattern from the caramel gene, but then you also get the influence from the Azantic, so it's kind of like a ghost belly. You get the reduced neck pattern as well from the caramel gene, so it's a pretty cool combination. This girl is actually 66% head for hypo and pink pastel albino.
Nice.
And then we have her sister, who came from the same clutch, and she is a PPA Azantic Super Anaconda, and she's also 66% head for Evans Hypo and 66% head for Caramel.
Why do you think we don't see as many PPAs, at the shows and stuff like that?
The reason why, in my opinion, the reason why PPAs aren't as common as we would like is because a lot of people in the very beginning had issues with neurological problems with pink pastel albino, and it came from all the inbreeding that was done early on. But since then, a lot of us have taken the pink pastel albino and bred it and outcrossed it to other genes and more stronger lines to create a healthier, more robust animal. And now, years later, we're starting to see more combos and we're starting to see more visuals pop out because of responsible breeding. So, for instance, we've been able to produce triple gene animals with the pink pastel and a lot more projects that we're working on. So we couldn't do all of the visuals early on because of how inbred they were. So we had to take it to outcross it to make it stronger.
So like doing it like the responsible, correct way of breeding, right?
Yep.
Sometimes we want to be able to hit those world first, or just see the visual. Yeah. But sometimes you got to take the hit of making the heads and outcrossing, right?
Yeah.
Let me see that the Sunburst Super Conda too.
So this is
we're still waiting on our winner, 416703.
Sunburst Super Conda is sable and albino, and then you got the Super Conda from the Conda. This one actually is a little bit more unique. She's actually about to go into shed. That's why she looks a little wrinkly right now. But she's from a line that has a stripe, a dominant stripe. If you can see,
we have a winner, Trinity Herp.
We have a brother right here.
Thanks, everybody. Trinity Herp is a 50-50 raffle winner.
We have a brother right here. Let's see if I can pop him open. So the line is very dominant.
Yeah, man, that's really cool. The line bred traits of the pattern. Where the hog nose, we only have one incomplete dominant that messes with the pattern.
Right.
Some of the recessive color stuff works a little bit, but line bred I think is the way to go for pattern, right?
Yep. Exactly. That's what we do. We work on recessives, but while adding our touch, and it's usually with the saturation of color, and then we add stripe and other cool patterns to make it even nicer and better. Because we don't focus on producing the first one, but we try to produce the best one, the best that we can, and add our flavor to it. So when somebody sees something being shared, they can actually distinguish where it came from without even having to label it as produced by us or such.
Yeah. Have you got a chance to walk around the show and see any cool things?
Yeah. Actually, briefly, yes, this morning.
So anything that stood out to you?
Yes, the Anery or Azantic blackheads that my beautiful wife is begging me to buy.
All right, so that might even be another future for exotic fire hogs.
Yeah, it will be.
All right. Thanks, homie. Thanks for the time.
No, thank you for having us.
Hey, this is Zach, Parpart's Pristine Pythons. Let's look at some snakes.
There we go. He's going to show us some couple of species he's got, some of the cool morphs. And I guess we'll see some ball pythons today.
I've got to show off a couple. So, like, this is the world's first. This is what I'm most proud of this season. And this is an ultra male blackhead clown. A couple other subtle genetics in there. Still in shed. It's usually a little bit brighter and nicer than that. And that's a double recessive with 3 incomplete dominant genetics.
What was the pairing you did to make this one?
Blackhead red gene, double het ultra male clown to a blade double het ultra male clown. I hit the best genetic pairing the first time I shot for it. I got lucky, lucky, lucky.
That's, we always like the odds gods, you know, giving us a little help there,
After
right?
3 years, double to double pairings for ultra male pieds, never hit a single one. The first year I shot for ultra male clowns, hit the all gene, and that's just how it works sometimes.
Oh yeah. So let's see one other ball python that really stands out.
Another ball, just one more. Okay, all right, come on. That's like really pretty clowns. And now I did hit a male and a female on this one. I was pretty excited about this.
Oh yeah.
These are some of the nicest, brightest clowns you'll see without another genetic or recessive in there. Helps fab bracky.
So what we got here, Zach?
This is a chocolate fire black pastel yellow belly clown.
Man, those oranges, copper colors in the background.
That comes from, so your fire mixed with your black pastel are bringing your nice oranges into that pairing. The chocolate is working with it to help with the chaining and bring in the contrast around there. And this snake is a Pompeii Maker plus plus, Dark Knight plus plus. Like, this is just a banger male for like anything that's hot and popular in clown right now.
And are they available?
Yes, these will be available after this show. They'll be priced. I brought them here to show them off. They'll be priced and available starting next week.
Cool. All right. And you have other species too, right? Other than just ball pythons?
I do. I have over a dozen other species,
okay,
which I'm just really this year starting to get into. Next year, hopefully half my booths will be filled up with other species and only half of it will be ball pythons.
Oh, perfect.
We can look at some of the stuff I've got over here that I've got to go this year so far.
Wheels down, out of the way, good to go.
So carpet pythons are one of the other ones that I've gone into the deepest. And I do jungle. I've got some really nice jungles, pure stuff. I work with a lot of pure jungle stuff. I do like my IJs too, so we can work something for more of the pet level people that's a little bit less expensive. And along with some nice crosses and stuff. I'll have diamond jungle crosses next season, bred like carpet pythons. I had bred like carpet pythons this season, already sold them all. But next year I should have 7 different carpet python clutches, hopefully in the mix cooking for all kinds of stuff like that. And pure jungles, pure IJs, pure bred lies, and several different crosses for designer combos.
Really cool, man. Looking forward to seeing some of that stuff.
And then I've been, a lot of pretty stuff that a lot of people like, some of your good pet stuff, like, your little cystic Colombian rainbow boas that, usually you find this stuff on flipper tables. It's hard to find that. So it was important to me. I wanted to start making some of this rarer stuff that people aren't producing and selling themselves, because a lot of times you get animals like this and they'll just set them on a table like this out here. Someone walks up and buys this intermediate level animal and goes home thinking they can just stick it in an enclosure like a corn snake. And when you buy stuff like this from someone who's produced this, you can come here and get the knowledge and actually have this animal go home and survive. And people realize that rainbow boas aren't hard to take care of. They aren't hard to keep alive. They don't just randomly drop dead on you. People don't know how to care for them properly, and people are selling animals without the proper knowledge to do so.
Sometimes the after care after you buying it is important. That's why I always tell people, anything you see, especially at my table, I produced. I can get all the information, all that stuff. So great to see that you're doing some of these obscure species too.
Yes, like make sure you're shopping with someone who's producing these animals, someone who's going to be available to answer questions with you about them. If you start asking questions about the animal and they can't answer it, or if they're like, oh, I have to get it, and they're not going, and it's not an employee going to get it from the person who owns the booth, go find someone else.
Sure, sure.
And make sure you're getting the correct stuff.
Yeah, and you're here with Husbandry Pro too, right? So
yes.
That's another part. Let's go check that out.
Manager for Husbandry Codes is what we use to keep up with everything. That's a Husbandry Pro feature.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you get all the information, feedings, pairings, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, any customer can walk up, scan this right here, and say everything that they need to know about that snake. And then at home, from my system, I use that to keep up with all these different species that have different feeding requirements and care requirements, so I don't get it messed up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, as a business manager for Husbandry Pro, if somebody's on the fence about starting it, what's your pitch to them?
If you're on the fence about trying it, take a small collection of your animals, no more than 10. Use code CLOVER60, get you a 2-month free trial. Do not try to put in all your animals. Put in that small group of animals, 1 rack, 1 breeding pair, 1 group, and set them up and use them like you would do everything through the system for them. And then at the end of your trial, look at how you've been doing things versus how long it takes you to do for your new animals, and you will sign up, you will smooth the rest of your animals over, and you'll realize how much time you're saving.
Perfect. That's the best pitch I've heard. You know, I'm a constant user, partner with Husbandry Pro, so glad, you know, to be able to get your input on that. Thanks, Zach.
Hey, no problem. Thanks for seeing me.
Hey everyone, I'm Vic with Rock Reptiles. I specialize in Western hog-nosed snakes as well as some more obscure geckos, such as chameleon geckos and token geckos and Namibian giant ground geckos. Some of the cool stuff that I'm working on now is primarily known for storm cloud. So this right here is one of my prides and joys. She's a female storm cloud. We named her Blueberry. She's also one of my prides and joys. She's a little over 1.5 years old now.
So she's getting close to that breeding age.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. What's your plans for the future for her?
Plans for the future for her? I have an Arctic Superconda Het Storm male that I've produced that I'm looking at pairing her with down the line. Also looking at introducing some frostbite into that and introducing that caramel gene into this. It's just something about some of those ice storms that I've seen over in the UK from Prestige that I love.
How have you seen like the development of the blues and the lighter colors as she's gotten older?
So when she hatched, she was this intense, I'll say blue gene blue. I really tried to focus in on the base coloration of the animals first before I started looking at getting the xanthics and sables. So she is from a double het to double het pairing. Just to kind of make sure to try to see what I can do to hold those blues, because storm clouds are known to have sometimes a fade into that gray coloration. But I just try to look at animals with a good dark base, and the mother of this animal, has a really, really solid red coloration in there, as well as being a dark animal as well. And what I've seen is these animals seem to hold that blue a little bit better when they're with that darker base parents and that darker base lineage, whereas compared to something that's a more lighter basis, where we start seeing kind of that, almost that whitish coloration, that some of that grays start popping out more into that lighter animal.
Yeah. Show us a little bit of the hatchings that you got here, man, and some of the cool projects you're working with.
Yeah. Well, it's been a good show. So I've hatched out. I've sold some of my nicer looking animals, but I do have some of the sibling from this year of the Het Storms. So this right here, she's in shed, but she's a really good example of an animal that I would say has a really good base coloration for a storm cloud project. They have nice clean saddles. We're seeing some really good coloration. It's just something I look at when I think of animals to keep. Obviously, she's in shed still, so we're not seeing nothing too crazy there. Also working at some of the extreme red stuff. My favorite one, actually, which if she doesn't sell, I'm gonna definitely hold her back, is this one. I think she is starting to go into shed. Yeah, she's starting to go into shed. But she just has some nice like brick red coloration. And
yeah, I see that, man. And even the background has some good coloration, not just the saddles.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's something that I look at. And like I'm a massive fan of contrast. People always say I look at contrast more than sometimes the actual recessive genes, because I just like, if an animal pops naturally, when you add those recessives into it, you're going to get something really, really special.
So let me ask you, with contrast, are you more of a conda or super conda?
I prefer conda. I think having those, even those smaller saddles, where you see just like this, a more complete contrast in the animal, something nicer. Some animals, I think the super conda gene does phenomenal with. Looking at things like a good super conda exanthic, we're seeing beautiful colorations. But things like lavender as well, but like sables, conda sables to me, I love to death. Things like the conda storm clouds that I've seen popping up are looking beautiful. But I think sometimes that super conda form actually kind of takes away some of the innate beauty of the animal.
Yeah, and sometimes the extra color and contrast that could, especially like extreme red stuff, you know, like super conda, you see some of the color, but then with the pattern, you see extra of it, right?
Exactly. You know, you're starting to see, you see more, I think, more of the full potential of the animal, really, when you have that conda or even that wild type phenotype comparative to that super conda, where we start seeing you kind of can remove some of that. Yeah. But not saying that you can't have a beautiful animal super condas. We definitely see it all the time. Some people produce some amazing super conda animals, but it's definitely something that I think the conda is like the perfect in between of what we want to see.
Yeah. So Storm Cloud, it seems like, is your flagship project right now.
Yes.
What's number 2?
Number 2, I do have some really fun stuff with Swiss chocolate coming down the line. Really interested in adding caramel to that Swiss chocolate. So I have some of those projects in the background right now that haven't really shown or really talked about, but that's something that I've been building up and showing. And also in the future, really wanting to add that caramel to the Storm Cloud lineage, especially some of the stuff I have right now. I think that you're starting to see a really good pop in coloration. It's also going to help clean up some of that dark black background in some of that scalation to get that clean blue, that icy blue pop.
Yeah, man, that's the caramel in there. It's really good. I haven't heard many people talk about that in there. That's you know, thinking about the future projects.
Yeah, I like weird stuff. I always don't like the, you know, I personally, I don't work with sunbursts or things like that. I think they're beautiful animals. I think they're awesome, but I've always liked darker animals. And I think looking at some of those, just like, I always like weird and obscure stuff. So like caramel for me, I think is a gene that I'm looking at adding to quite a few projects down the line, just to kind of see what it does compared to like our toffee bellies and those other T-positive albinos that we've seen in the hobby right now.
Oh man. All right, thanks for your time. Where can people find you, find your animals that are for sale?
Yeah, so best place to find me is Instagram at Rock Reptiles. I'm on Morph Market, Facebook, Instagram, X. I am starting to go on YouTube. I'm starting to foray into that. But the best place to play is Morph Market and Instagram is where you're going to find me. I do a lot of live streams where I do feedings, kind of communicating some of the stuff that I think, you know, talking to a lot of other breeders, you know, just having a good time there.
Thanks for your time, bud.
Yeah, man, really appreciate it.
Thank you again for watching. Make sure you guys subscribe, hit the like button, and comment down below. And, you know, make sure you guys watch all of our videos and see what we got coming up. We got a couple other podcasts lined up for next month. So we'll see you guys in the next one. If you guys like this video, we're going to do plenty more of walkthroughs. If you guys want to see a specific vendor or species, comment down below and we'll try to find them in our next show. We'll see you guys on the next one.